Hello and welcome to my home. My name is Jim Dooley and I'm the Executive Director of the New Angela Foundation. And what I'm going to do today is show you how to make kefir. I wrote an article about kefir on the New Angela Foundation website, and I'll tell you more about that in just a little while. Kefir is nature's ultimate super probiotic. It is a collection of over 56 different probiotic strains that actually do incorporate and inhabit the gut. The reason I stress that is because other probiotics that you may be familiar with, such as yogurt, contain usually about 2 probiotics, and they do not actually incorporate into and inhabit the gut. That's very, very important because, you know, probiotics have been well known since 1907, and their effect on the body has been well documented. And even to this day, Western medicine hasn't really come to fully understand or acknowledge their importance. But you know, probiotics comprise over 90% of our immune system. They help to digest food. They help to regulate body systems, endocrine systems, acid-alkaline balances, keeping the body clean, keeping it normalized. They are so vitally important. They create natural antibiotics. They destroy harmful bacteria. Your body consists of about 70 to 75 trillion cells. But inside your intestines, you have 10 times that many bacteria. Now, depending on what type of bacteria you have, is a big indicator of what health you will realize. Most people today have 10% good bacteria and 90% bad bacteria. In a healthy person who is regularly drinking kefir or other probiotics, raw foods, especially kefir, the ratio is just the reverse. It's 90% good, healthy bacteria and only 10% bad bacteria. So it makes sense that you want to do something on a regular basis which is going to enhance life rather than taking away. You know, the word antibiotic means against life. Probiotic means for life. Well, this is more for life than anything else I know. And that's why I'm so excited being able to show you exactly what this product can actually do for you. The product, as I said, the kefir itself, dates back at least 3,000 years throughout many different cultures in our world. And in every one of those cultures, those people were known as being much more healthy than we are today. Vibrant people, virile men, strong women, all of these people. Why was that? Because they were eating nature's way. They were eating from the land. They were eating those things that they could grow in their own environment. And a big, big part of it was the kefir and the other probiotics that they were getting in their diet. So what I'm going to do today is show you just how simple it really is. By the way, kefir is a totally raw product. Unlike yogurt, where you do boil the milk and pasteurize it, not so with kefir. The best milk to use would be raw goat's milk, or raw sheep's milk would even be preferred. Preferably grass-fed because of the healthy ratio of healthy fats as well that you can get from those particular milks. Now, that having been said, it's very simple to make. What I have here is a half a quart of kefir starter. This is actually nothing more than ripened kefir, and inside here you're going to see something very, very interesting, maybe something a lot of you have never seen before. The actual kefir grain, it looks very much like cauliflower. And I'll show that to the camera right now. As I reach in here, you'll see these grains. Now, if I were to rinse these grains off, you would see it looking just like a piece of cauliflower. You can see a picture of it on my website, okay? And I just take, in a half a gallon mason jar, I'll take 1 or 2 of these kefir grains, place it into the jar, let's get a little bit more in here. There we go. And then all we do is pour a little bit of the culture that we had made the previous time into each jar. Okay. We then simply pour in the milk. Again, this is raw, grass-fed goat's milk. Incredibly healthy for you. By the way, a lot of people will say, well, Jim, I'm allergic to milk. Is it any wonder? Drinking the stuff that they have in the supermarkets, pasteurized, homogenized, hormone-laden, GMO-fed animals, it's not the same. Besides that, as these bacteria are working, they're digesting the casein and the lactose within the milk itself. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I can tell you that I have seen very few people that are actually allergic to raw, grass-fed kefir. I say goat's milk and sheep's milk more than cow's milk because of the better blend of fats and the caseins. That's what we do there. Just one moment, please. Let me get some lids for this. Okay, I'm back. All you do is you place the lid lightly on top of the container, and then you just gently, without screwing the lid down tight, just place it on to the top of the lid, and that allows the lid to bubble a little bit because there will be some carbon dioxide being released from here. Then all I do is I simply cover this with a towel or get it out of the light. You can put it in a cabinet if you wish, and leave it there for 18 hours at room temperature. Now in 18 hours, you will then simply strain these kefir grains out, putting them back into the 1/2 or 1 quart jar, fill it up with about that much milk, set that aside, put the strained kefir back into these same jars, seal them tight, let them sit for another 6 hours, and then place them into the refrigerator. And that's all there is to it. The 1 quart jar will give you enough kefir for your next batch. Now with this jar, you still, even though you've sealed these jars, you then keep this jar lid loose so that it can continue to breathe. And this will become more sour, and that will make a very, very nice batch for the next fermentation. That's all there is to it. Now, to show you what it is that I'm talking about, this is the finished kefir. After we have fermented it for the 18 hours and then strained it, and then fermented it on a second fermentation in a sealed jar for another 6 hours, we then place it into the refrigerator. Overnight, it will settle down, get colder, and much thicker. And this is what it will actually look like. Let me shake it up a little bit for you. Okay. And this is your kefir. Now you can also sweeten this if you wish with any type of fresh fruit, syrups. You can use vanilla, hazelnut, that's what I use sometimes. It tastes wonderful. and it's very, very simple to take. I drink a quart of this every morning as my breakfast. I may mix in 1 fertilized raw egg yolk, and it's a complete meal in and of itself. Well, good morning. This is Jim again. It's the next morning, and what we're going to do now is to go into the second phase of our preparation of kefir. This is called the second fermentation, and this really enhances not only the nutrient value of the kefir itself by enhancing the levels of vitamin Bs especially, but it also makes it a much creamier, thicker, and smoother beverage. So what I did here was last night I actually covered the kefir. You might remember and I also placed on here always a little note to myself as to exactly when the first fermentation is done. You may remember that the lids were placed on loosely so that there would be air in there for the kefir to breathe, and also to allow any carbon dioxide to bubble off. What I do now is I will seal each one, shake it up, and I'll pour it, each one, through the strainer into this 8-quart pot. Now I'm making 1 gallon of kefir, so this 8-quart pot is just the right size. Now, as you can see, the kefir is still very liquid. It is not thick by any stretch of the imagination. But after we're done here, I'll take out some kefir that we made yesterday, and you'll see the difference in texture. Also, too, this will give us a really good view of what the kefir grains actually look like. Now, as you can see, in looking into that pot, the kefir grains are sitting there. What I do then is I'll take a spoon them into a 1-quart mason jar, preferably, making sure to get all of the grains, including the little ones that are just starting. That's how you first start to see them. I'll put this aside. And then we will first pour some into the container holding the grains, and I fill that about halfway. This would be about 1 pint of milk. On this container, I will go ahead and place the cap back on loosely. I'll set that aside. Okay. On the other 3 that I just emptied out and strained, I will put this now strained milk, kefir, back in. The levels are not that important. Put this aside. Turn this off. Got my cereal going for breakfast here. I will then cover each one of these and seal it tight. Now, this is the second fermentation, and what will happen is that the kefir will continue to ferment without the grains and continue to produce carbon dioxide. So actually, when this is done, it will be much thicker, much creamier. It will also be slightly effervescent because of the carbon dioxide. I actually call it kefir champagne, to be honest with you. It's that good. I will then just again cover it, keeping the light away, And then I set on my timer on the kitchen stove. I'll set that for 6 hours. At the end of 6 hours, the kefir is now finished. At that period of time, going back here, I will then seal the starter. If I'm not using it to make more right away, put this in the fridge. It will last for a long time. I will keep these sealed and just place them in the fridge overnight. The next morning, the kefir is done. Now, one thing I did not mention yesterday was, well, I may have, I'm not really sure. Kefir for some people will be a little bit too tart, a little bit too sour. It's an acquired taste for some. So in order to get around that, what I do is I add some of this half and half from Organic Valley. It's the hazelnut. It actually makes the kefir taste as good as or better than ice cream, and I don't say that of my own. I have given this product, the kefir with the hazelnut, to untold numbers of people, at least 100, and every one has come back and asked me for more. It is that good. Adam just had some and he agrees as well. So I just wanted to let you know it's very, very simple. You just put whatever amount you want in there to taste. It's a great addition. Here's some kefir we made just the other day. We had quite a bit of it, but to be honest with you, we drank it all. It tastes so good. So this is the difference. It's a little bit more creamy now, a little thicker in texture. What I'm going to do as well is put in the hazelnut, mix some in, and that's about all you'll need, in my case. Just stir it up. And if you want a real nutritional powerhouse, by the way, you can mix in 1 fertilized egg yolk as well. That really helps. Anyway, cheers. And if you would like to know more, I invite you all to join me on the New Angela Foundation webpage, and you'll see the instructions for that at the end of this video. Thank you. Bye-bye.